Hello guys, welcome to Zach Animate Studios. Today we wanted to go back to the basics where it all started, web development. So today I wanted to talk about HTML and HTML tutorial. But first, before even you start, what you really need is an editor. And the best editor to use is Visual Studio Code. You can get this by going to Visual Studio Code. Just type Google, and then inside from Google type Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. Okay. So after you've typed Visual Studio Code, you're going to download this. You're going to hit on download, and then it's going to take you straight away to download Visual Studio Code. If you are on Windows 11 or Ubuntu or even Mac, you can download that. And then another software that you really need is XAMPP Apache. So you can also still go to Google, and then you're going to type XAMPP. This is a server, XAMPP application. This is a server that you're going to download. That this is going to run on your application like a server. So you're going, after installation of XAMPP, you can pick the latest one, that is that one. Download that, and then you're going to install. So I've already installed, and then you're going to do some starting the server. You start the server, and then you start the MySQL server. MySQL server is for database, but for these tutorials we just want to start the server. I want to take you through the process. This is inside your computer, but at the same time this server works as if you are working on a live server. So on a live server, you are going to purchase a domain, and then you are going to be given credentials to that live server. But this one, you have it on your computer. So with that, welcome to Zach Animate Studio. Consider subscribing to this amazing channel and be part of this community. So we wanted to talk about HTML. HTML is a markup language for all the website. This is where all the code for if you want to start as a web developer, you must start. Okay, and the best place to start is also from if you have never been to college, or you have the passion for it. You can go to W3 Schools. Okay, W3 Schools. W3 Schools is a place where you can learn HTML and all that, and it can take you through the process of learning all these basic of HTML, JavaScript, tutorial, jQuery, and it has a lot of practical, right? It has a lot of practical. You can hit that, try it yourself. You write something and then you try it yourself. Okay, like this is a basic of HTML code, and then if you hit run, it's going to give you this output. Okay, so this is how you can get started with programming as a person who has never gone to programming school, and you have a computer and you always wonder, how does this thing always work? So I'll give you a story of mine. This is my story. When I started, I was a graphic designer. I used to draw, I used to paint, I used to do all that, and back then I always wanted to be I always admired the shakes. You know, the shakes, you can see it on YouTube, shakes. And so I always wanted to have a storyline like that. It was always back then in Nation Media and Nation Media. So to cut the story short, I always wanted to have pictures, my pictures that I've drawn, to be on the web, like on a website, so that I can keep track of each drawing. Because if you can imagine, if you are a graphic designer and you don't have the account, don't have to store those graphic design, then your work will get lost, or you might lose them. So I have some of them. I will share with you when I edit this video, some of the graphic design. So I loved shakes. So I got introduced to HTML. I saw Publisher. As you can see, you can use Publisher also. Like I saw Publisher. publisher, this publisher. You could write something on publisher, and then you can have a website. Like you can publish a website with publisher. So it gave me an idea of, if I have a story, I have my storyline, then I could do it on HTML. So I started with HTML. I got introduced to basics of HTML, what is HTML and all that, how to write paragraph. I came to realize that from HTML there is H1 to H6. So like we can still just use this editor, Control C, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So with that you can do H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6, Control C. So to copy is do Control C, and then to paste Control V. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, so H5. As you can see, when I write H6 and this one is not highlighted, you see there is an error, like this one is highlighted highly red, so that it's H5, and then this one is H6. So if I hit run, you can see that from the highest, that is, just remember that H1 is the highest and then H6 is the lowest. Okay, so this is just programming with our stories. Okay, so we have that, we have paragraphs, and then with the publisher, you can still remember that with publisher, when you started, there was always like these are the templates, right? So when you hit that, and then you can do some publish it, like you can publish it on a website inside publisher. So with that skills, I came to realize these are the types of this information is also on this is the way they have written H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 is what is also written on a website, like on a normal typical website. Just to make that we are telling the truth, let's just go to google.com and then hit H11. Okay, H11 is to maximize, sorry for that. Just right click and then inspect. Okay, just right click and then inspect. You will see that there is HTML, there is object, all this nonsense. For right now, let's just call it nonsense, but all these codes, but it is all about HTML. You can come to realize that we have there's the div class and all that. Now that comes to another aspect of HTML, whereby this information has been programmed with some classes. Okay, we will come to understand the forms of classes that we are going to get into. So there is HTML, there is CSS, and information also is stored in a specific way. So you're going to get to understand that we have classes and all that stuff. So don't worry about all this, but we're just seeing that our HTML also is just like that. So we have our code, we have our editor. So before I wrap up this video is going to just be only of 10 minutes just to explain basic HTML. Okay, so let's go to our, we had installed, now we have downloaded our Visual Studio Code and we have installed our server. So click on explore. There's a major file here called hotdocs. Okay, when you click, so all this file, just go to htdocs. Inside the htdocs is the main server. Call it like where you place all your website files. Okay, it's your server. So you're going to create a folder here. Just create one folder, a new folder, call it tutorial class, tutorial class. Okay, this is going to be your website. So with that, go to your Visual Studio and then file, open, and then open now that folder that you have created. okay, XAMPP, inside XAMPP there is hot docs, and then go to tutorial class. Okay, with that you will be good to go. So you have created, basically you have created the container where all your website is going to be. And then now create a new file, that one, create a new file and call it index.html. okay, so websites are written in HTML. So with that you're going to have a single HTML class, and then what you're going to do, just copy all this, or just go where you had written your tutorials on your browser, Control C. So I'm going to teach you how to be fast. You Control C, Control V. Control C is to copy, Control V is to paste. And then now with that you can now save file, you can now save that, and then you can open this thing on your browser. Okay, so to open this on your browser, when you opened your server, you can do this. So the name of your file was called tutorial class. Okay, tutorial class. Let's open this thing. Okay, so tutorial class, I want to make it, let me just rename it to be tutorials. Okay, just rename it just tutorial class, one word, Control C, and then type on your browser localhost localhost cancel. Okay, I'll have to close this first for a minute. Just close this browser and then rename it. That is some of the errors, that is some things that you might come across when you are doing web development. It's not responding. Okay, so you have renamed that. So just type localhost and then write tutorial class. Okay, class, just like that. You will see that whatever you have done, you have passed it on your server, and then just go back to your browser on your terminal and then just open a folder, go back to tutorial class, just the same folder that you had closed, and then you're going to have it there. So whatever you are writing here on your tutorial class, on your index.html, will be portrayed here on your browser. Okay, so your server is running, your application is running. So basically what you can do, you are debugging your application as it runs on a live server. That is just one way. There's other ways that you can use Node.js, because there are features that you can use on Node.js. When you hit there and then, okay, basically I've not inserted that function on this node, but you will see other developers can tell you how you can do the same thing. And this is just HTML. So with this, we have just written our basic HTML of H1 to H6 with a paragraph. And then, so in the next tutorial, we are going to learn other elements of HTML. We have done headings, we have done paragraphs, we are going to do styles, we are going to do formatting, quote marks, comment, colors, page titles, table. So all these are some of the things that we can do it, and we are going to build one-on-one on this HTML file. So basically how table looks like, how you can create a class, how you can create a layout out of this. So basically your code will be growing from one generation to another, and then at the end of the day we are going to have an entire website. So guys, thank you for watching this video, thank you for being part of this community. So subscribe to this amazing channel and be part of our community, and be part of this amazing community. So subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend and tell a friend. Zach Anime Studio, creativity one step at a time. Cheers.